Speaking of spurts and games.
Spurts and games.
Okay.
Games.
Two guys.
Spurts and games. Spurts and games. Spurts and games. Spurts and games. Talking about spurts and games.
Welcome back to the Pantless podcast. Here's your host, Austin and Travis. Take it away, guys. Hey, what's going on?
What is up, world? Travis, what have you been eating, sir?
Well, we had some interesting tacos last night.
Yeah?
I took,
Interesting tacos? Like fish tacos? Or
no,
what are
they
talking
were
here?
just.
What makes them interesting?
I took soft shells.
Yeah?
The not about a little bit bigger than a crunchy shell.
Okay.
Melted some cheese in it, like a quesadilla. Threw a hard shell in it. Folded it over.
Okay.
Had some taco meat made with ground pork instead of ground beef. And
You had one of those good old-fashioned, like, double-decker tacos.
Oh man, it was
I
a
think that's what
crunch.
they're called.
It was a soft, crunchy taco. It was a crunchy, soft taco
Yes, those were awesome.
with just cheese. Then I had some. I bought some queso cheese sauce to go over the top of it. Oh, they were awesome.
Oh my gosh.
They were good.
Okay, so here's the thing. What I want everyone to do is when you have an awesome meal like that, let's go old school 20 years ago social media. Take a picture, tweet at the Pantless Pod 1 and hashtag what I'm eating and send us a picture of like your awesome meal because that sounds
We
delicious.
will make sure to forget to look at it.
I would love to see that. So let's get hashtag what I'm eating trending because that sounds fantastic. I haven't had a double decker taco in years.
Yeah, it was so good.
Dang.
I was just like,
Dang.
man, I don't even know why I thought about it because I know Taco Bell at one time. I know they have the cheesy gordita crunch. I think's what it's called.
Yeah,
Or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's got the soft shell. It's got more of a flakier outer shell, but with a hard taco shell inside.
Right.
I'm like, man, I want to try my hand at making some of those. They were delicious.
Absolutely.
Next time,
Absolutely.
I'll have to try some different stuff inside of them, but they were good. What have you eaten?
Man, I've eaten a lot of wonderful things this week. Lots. I've had like some chicken Alfredo tortellini, which was delicious. Today I ate pizza for lunch, and then for dinner, I got fancy with a sandwich and Cheetos. I had a croissant. Slice that bad boy open, put sliced deli turkey on there, American cheese, sliced ham, Swiss cheese, and put some Dijon mustard. Like the sweet buttery croissant with that Dijon, like spicy, like tangy Dijon mustard. Oh, it was so good. And it's like, how can a sandwich be this good? It doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be. But it was. It was.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
I should have taken a picture and tweeted at the Pantless Pod 1 and hashtag what I'm eating. That's what I should have done.
My problem is
I'm lame.
Never has my first thought when it comes to food is I should take a photo and send this to somebody.
Right, you're just ready to eat it. Yeah. That's a good point.
So,
Crazy.
let's get in to some gaming stuff.
Oh snap! What do you want to talk about?
Have you seen? Which I think it had been announced last week, but we forgot to talk about it. But they've announced 2 new Pokemons for Scarlet and Violet.
Really?
Yeah. Have you?
2 since we've. Okay, so let's talk about them because I'm not sure that I know if we haven't or have.
Okay, so the newest one announced, and I think I shared the trailer with our Facebook group, with our messenger group.
I did see that you shared a video that I haven't got to watch yet. I did see that.
I really enjoyed that style, the way they did that announcement. The new Pokemon's called Grafaiai.
Grafaiai.
It was kind of almost like a vlog style. Like there was like a researcher who set up a bunch of like trail cams, trying to, and he's like narrating the footage of his cameras.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
and he actually gets footage of this graffiti style Pokemon. It's a normal poison called Graphii.
Normal poison graffiti. What does graffiti style Pokemon mean? What does that mean?
It eats berries and then secretes this poison onto its like hand and tail, and then paints and puts graffiti on like trees and rocks, and like marks its territory by marking graffiti. I don't think it's called. I don't think it's called the actual graffiti Pokemon. It's called something else, and it's actual. I think it's like monkey something like something monkey. And the other one was, it's got a weird name. It's that Sizzler. It's the pre-evolution to the legendaries.
Right, which that has confused me.
Toxic monkey Pokemon is the Graphii. I'm sorry.
Okay, toxic monkey. Okay.
So
pre-evolution to the legendaries. We've never seen this before. For the box art legendaries, them having a first form.
Not true. What was the name of that ball thing that evolved into another slightly bigger ball thing that eventually evolved into Solgaleo and Lunala?
That wasn't box art, though. That wasn't the box art legendary. That was
Sun and Moon.
Technically a legendary.
Sun and Moon's box arts were Solgaleo and Lunala.
Yeah, you're talking about like Cosmog.
Cosmog.
But I'm saying,
but it evolved
into legendary.
It evolved into the box art. This is
no, it didn't evolve into the box art.
Did not Cosmog evolve into a Solgaleo if you had Moon?
No,
I thought it.
You caught it, and then it like.
Because I have a Cosmog in my Shield game that if it's night when it hits a certain level, it'll evolve into a Lunala.
Wait, what? Then I completely missed a huge aspect of that game. So in Sun and Moon, you could catch both legendaries.
No, No, because I never played Sun and Moon, so I'm going. But Cosmog evolves into a second form, and then like if you have Cosmog, which I thought you got, I just assumed they gave you one in the game.
They did. They gave you Cosmog. That you just were handed to it, but you actually caught. If I remember right, you caught Solgaleo.
You did. I don't know.
You could catch the other one. Hold on.
But I know if you have the Cosmog in Sun and Moon, if you have Pokemon Sun, if you're playing Pokemon Sun, that Cosmog will only evolve into a Solgaleo. And if you have Moon, the Cosmog you get evolves into Lunala.
I do not remember that. You're probably right. I'm sure you are. You sound confident. I don't remember that being the mechanic. So you might be right, and my mind might be blown.
Size Lizard. I gotta hear the name pronounced. It's so weird, but
Sizzler.
Sizzler. But from the trailer I watched and the video from Austin John Plays that I watched, this is a common Pokemon in this region. And it's known to run like 70 kilometers an hour.
Okay.
Which is, or was it 70 mile an hour? I can't remember. It was 70 something an hour. Pretty fast for a animal to run. They're common in the world, and people they use them as a mode of transportation a lot. So it sounds like you're going to have one of these, like you're going to be given one early as your bicycle.
Okay.
And then at a certain point in the storyline, you're gonna hit a spot where there's gonna be a dimensional rift that will, if you're in Violet, kick you to the future, and your Sizzler will evolve into a future doggo or ride thing. And if you have Scarlet, you'll get kicked to the past, where you'll get the red one. It will evolve into one or the other. Now, it may have a second form that allows it to start swimming, so that you can actually swim at one point. Because it'll only, I think
Towards the beginning, or once you learn the move?
Well, because the HMs aren't HMs anymore.
Right. I mean, is it kind of like Arceus, where like you get to a certain point and it's like, I guess it learned to swim.
Maybe. Probably.
You found this region and it's like, hey, it just jumps in the water for fun.
I was thinking. You know how in most games that are very linear of the Pokemons, where because the game is linear, like you get to a certain point where you have to cross water, like you can't get to this town unless you swim, and the game's like, well, I guess we'll have to give you a swim now, and you get the ability to swim, and then you have it for the rest of the game, and you can go back and swim across areas and get other items. In this game, are there going to be those points where, I know they said that you can do any gym at any moment, at any time. If you don't do any story, and you just want to do gyms, but there's a gym that's across the lake, but you have to do a certain, are you only going to get the ability to swim after going so far into the story mode?
Right.
Or is every gym just going to be across land and you just have to walk there? Because, like, we're not going to be able to fly and fast travel, which you can only fast travel anyway once you've been there.
Right.
Anyway, so you'll have to walk everywhere anyway. But still, are they going to lock a gym behind the ability to swim? Or, I know they showed the legendaries climbing walls, a lot like, what was that thing that you rode in its backpack, and it crawled walls in Arceus?
Yeah, I don't remember.
But
I'm going to try.
I mean, I want to know how that's going to work. Because on one hand, they said...
absolutely correct. You do, the only way to get Solgaleo and Lunala is for getting Cosmog and evolving it. So, I was wrong. This is not the first time you find the box art with the pre-evolution.
And I don't know, as I didn't play Sun and Moon, because I hated those games. They were just garbage. I'm a Pokemon's purist.
So, meaning if it doesn't have gyms.
Yeah, if it doesn't hit that cookie cutter with gyms, which this one's going to be weird. I think this one's going to I'm going to have to get used to this game. It's going to take a bit of I think I'm going to be hypercritical. There's going to be a lot of people like me that are kind of the purist style that are going to be hypercritical of this game, and they're going to have to hit it perfectly. But I'm still curious how they're going to... Which, I think Sun and Moon was the first game to go away from TMs or HMs. Where you didn't have to teach a Pokemon swim and, strength and cut and all that. I think Sun and Moon was the first game that did the rideable, where the Pokemons that you got certain ones that you could just summon out of nowhere.
You might be right.
Because you know how much strategy you had to do in the old games with the HMs?
Lots. Especially in the first one where you had to teach HMs and you couldn't unteach them.
You basically, in most of those games, I had what was called an HM slave. You find the one. You find the one. I know. I want to say in Ruby and Sapphire, I think Zigzagoon can learn like most of them. And if you start with a water type, the water type normally can learn Surf, and that's actually one of the most useful. Surf is really good in battle, where the other ones just suck. Because I think
they are.
I almost want to say Zigzagoon could learn Cut, Strength, and those were, and I think it could learn Flash. It could learn most of them. It could learn all of them but Surf and Fly. So you could actually just teach it that, and it's just in your party, and you never use it to fight. You only have 5 in your party.
And I know Diamond and Pearl. I've never played the originals, but in the remakes, you have the watch that kind of does everything. It's not how the original Diamond and Pearl was.
I don't think that's how the original Diamond and Pearl was. I didn't play much of it. I've never beat that one. I don't, because I want to say Sun and Moon, Diamond and Pearl was before X and Y. I want to say X and Y still had HMs. I'm pretty sure X and Y still had HMs. And I thought it was Sun and Moon was the first game that did where you could jump on a Go-Goat. Was it Go-Goat?
I thought it was like a Taurus or something, but it might have been a Goat.
I thought the Taurus was the Strength.
Oh, that might be right. Yeah,
a Lapras. I think a Lapras was Swim, and I thought Go-Goat was your bike. Because I know you get to ride on a Go-Goat in different parts of X and Y. Because Go-Goat was new in X and Y. And you could ride on a Go-Goat in certain areas in X and Y to jump hedges to get to different areas. But Sizzler looks interesting. It's got a wheel.
It's got a wheel.
It's got a wheel on its chest and runs.
And it's a lizard. It's a lizard with a wheel. I don't know. We'll see. I haven't seen the graffiti. I'll have to watch your video. I haven't seen it.
The graffiti.
Yeah.
I am so glad.
Today, I'm going to say yesterday, kind of switching gears in the Pokemon Unite, they released Mew and had a big update, and you can fight Rayquaza in there. And he's in there now as a battleable, so you can somehow you can play as Mew right now.
Okay.
And then eventually unlock them, I guess. I don't know how. But they've changed the world. The wild Pokemon have changed. And it's one of those things where it's so different, and basically the mechanics of all the wild Pokemon are basically the same. The layout's just slightly different, but everything's just slightly different. But it's enough that you're like, this is so cool. Like,
I heard they were adding a new arena. Is it a new arena?
Yeah. And they've replaced the stadium, the main stadium, to like, I can't remember. I don't know the name of it. It's like Thea Sky Stadium or whatever. And there's like a whole new. There's all these challenges you have to unlock this Mew mural. Like, you have to gather all these pieces by performing challenges, and it just sucked me right in. And I'm like,
now, are both arenas, the original arena and the new ones, available, or is it literally they just shifted to the new one?
In the ranked and the standard battles, it's just the new ones. Mer Stadium is still available in the quick match, but it's the quick match version, so you don't get like the Dreadnought and the multiple goals to score on.
I don't like how they do that. Then I wish would you like it better if they had both arenas and it was random? Like when you started a standard match? Like,
I don't know about random, because they have the challenges. And so the challenges are basically arena specific. And so if I want to
Or let you choose.
accomplish, yeah, I would rather it let me choose. Like a
And then
lot of
you,
time lately, they've been letting you choose the quick battles. They have the Pika Party,
yep.
and they had the catch 'em battles, and then they had the other arenas. And you could basically the other arenas you could only choose them once every 24 hours, and they alternated between three of them. But the other like bonus arenas or whatever you would call them, you could select those if you wanted. Like, oh, I'm not in the mood to do a Pika Party today. I'll just battle in, a Roma Park or something. So quick battles will let you alternate, and that's really cool. I like that. And it would be cool if you could do that with standard battles or ranked battles, but they're not letting you. Right now, it's just everything is the
It just
new
feels
level.
a bit of a loss that they just almost like they just scrapped the original arena and replaced it with this new one. I understand there's events going on, but almost like let ranked be random, and standard be. Because I bet you, what would you say? What do you play more, standard or ranked? Probably standard.
Probably standard, yeah.
Because you probably only play like a few hit and miss ranks.
Yeah, because the rank system is so weird. Like it's really hard to win like multiple ranked battles by battling consecutive. Like you have to if you win a ranked battle, if you want to advance in ranking, you really need to not battle again for at least 10 minutes. Because the system is set up where it's like you just won one, so you're gonna lose the next one. We're pairing you up against the best of the best.
You won, so it's like you up in rank.
And then
so it's gonna put you up against harder players.
It's so crazy. Yeah, so if I do back-to-back ranked matches, I almost always lose the second match. But if I play a ranked match, wait 10 minutes, this is something my wife told me about, and somehow it worked. Like, somehow she's smart or something. You win the next, 10 minutes, the system resets and doesn't realize you won the last one. And it pairs you up with people, and you have a chance at winning the next one. And then if you stop and win, or if you stop, come back 10 minutes later to rank.
You probably alternate.
Yeah. If I'm trying to press for that final ranking, because you get rewards based on your rank.
Yeah.
And so if I'm pressing for that last rank, like I'm usually doing that towards the end of the season just reset, and then I'll pause. I won't even play another one. I'll just straight up pause, and then play. It's fun. I enjoy it. I like the new level. I like the new music. Mew is cool. This could be the first time I ever spend money on anything. It doesn't look like it.
I'm just joking, because that's not an
It doesn't look like it.
It's not a evolution line.
Yeah. You never know. These people. They've introduced manga into the series, into the game. There's a section in the menu where you can pull up different mangas based on something. I don't know. It's weird. I didn't do it. But Mew knows a lot of just random. It's almost like metronome. At first, I thought Mew knew metronome. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's got metronome, because every time I battle Mew, it's like he's using a different move, like Surf or Electro Ball, or what's the other one? Solar Beam. It's like, holy cow! And then I finally went and looked at his move set, and you can learn all of these random moves from random Pokemon. So it's metronome-ish, I guess. But it really makes him cool. And his Battle Pass outfit, if you play and advance to the Battle Pass, the final outfit is an outfit from Mew, and it's like a Bard outfit where and it looks really cool. And I'm just like, I don't know, if I end up advancing that far, I might finally drop $5 and just pick it up. And then, of course, you get all of those other achievements that you unlock moving up. All of the tickets and.
I have some money in my rewards, my Google Play rewards.
I know. I was saying, didn't you buy a Battle Pass once? And I don't think you finished it, did you?
No, I didn't. I got about halfway through it and then stopped playing the game again.
That sucks.
But I use my rewards money, that's like free money, for just doing surveys through Google.
Yeah.
Let's jump into some different, more disappointing gaming news.
Okay.
Have you been keeping up with Halo Infinite at all?
I haven't.
Have you
No, I
played it?
haven't.
You haven't played it yet, have you?
I haven't even downloaded it yet.
See, me neither, because I've been waiting on the co-op to kick in.
Yeah.
Because me and my son, I was waiting for split screen co-op so we could play together. Because I just don't like playing the game by myself. They have officially canceled split screen co-op. It will never enter the game.
Really?
And
why would they do that?
Because they're stupid. But online co-op drops this November. This is not a Halo game in my opinion. They should take the Halo name out of this, because Halo has always had co-op, either online or split screen campaigns.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever played a campaign by myself because it's boring by yourself.
Right.
I want to play this game.
Yeah.
I've played every Halo game that's came out. I've beaten all of them. I literally went over to my brother's when Halo 5 came out, and me and him sat on his couch and beat Halo 5 in like one sitting, just so I could play it because I didn't have an Xbox back then.
Right.
And he'd bought it, and we sat there and we ran through it. And I want to play this one because I've beat all of them in co-op. That's kind of the thing I do. I always find somebody and get it. And well, back in the day when they were originally coming out, me and my best friend had it. My high school best friend. We had all the Halos and we just rolled through them. We used to speed run Halo 1. See how quickly we could beat it.
Right.
So, I guess once the network co-op drops, we'll have to both get it and see if it's a game or it's on Game Pass.
Yeah. I do like the online co-op. I've done that with a brother-in-law. He's helped me out through, so I played the first 3 way back in the day.
Yeah.
And then since then, he's played with me online through the other ones, through the campaign. So I like it, but I do prefer couch play. It's more fun.
And honestly, I was going to download this one, but they're like, oh no, couch co-op is coming later. I'm like, oh, then I'll just not worry about it right now and I'll get it later. And now I heard a couple days ago that for some stupid reason they canceled that. I wonder if there's going to be such a backlash if they're going to end up trying to get it on there. Because I figured...
Probably would. You remember when they were bringing out the Xbox and everything's download only. You have to have the internet to use this. And then people are like, that, no. And then okay, yeah, we're just kidding. If there's enough backlash, they'll back off.
Which do you think would be easier to code? Couch co-op or online co-op? In my opinion,
I would think couch, but I don't know. Online requires.
I have
internet.
I have heard that couch co-op requires them to try to code the game to make the game play twice at once, because the game has to read you playing and the second person playing, so it's almost like two separate. And if you're looking at separate things, the system's trying to compute 2 different things at once. It can be a stress, but I don't understand. They've always done it. Bungie always made it work.
Yeah.
343 is garbage. Garbage. Speaking of garbage, you got any breaking news?
Breaking news. Yes.
So I expected you to be like, no, I ain't got none.
No. I'm freaking excited about this, and it's crazy because I haven't watched it, but I want to so bad.
We're watching things.
But Fate, the Wink Saga, has been announced. They're coming out with a season 2 on Netflix.
What is this?
It's a series about a school for fairies. And it looks fantastic. I have never watched it, but the first time I saw it, 2 or 3 years ago, I'm like, this looks super entertaining. when it comes out, I'm gonna watch it. And then it came out, and I never watched it. But they're coming out with a season 2 finally. So everybody that did watch it, loved it,
Oh, I think
and
my
they're
kids
finally getting a season 2.
I think my kids used to watch the animated, like the cartoon.
Oh, there was an animated version?
I think that's what it when I pulled up Fate the Winx Saga season 2 images, it's showing these animated pictures of the characters look
Right.
familiar. Like I've seen this
Yeah.
before.
I think it's really geared more towards like an older teen audience,
Yeah.
but it's set in like a fantasy school for fairies or whatever, whatever they're called.
So, Fate the Winx Saga is a teen drama series based on the Nickelodeon animated series Winx Club,
Okay.
which was created by some name I can't pronounce. So, yes, Winx Club. My girls have watched that before.
Yeah. And so anyway,
But-
that's pretty cool. I probably will check this out. I'm really digging Sandman. Haven't got halfway through yet. I'm 4 or 5 episodes in.
Oh, so you watched quite a bit more.
I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
Okay.
So this might be my next one after I'm finished with that one.
What? Okay, so you're not as far as me in Sandman yet. So
In my episode, he just got to hell and is making his way up to the palace. He hasn't met with Lucifer yet, and he's just like,
yeah, is he telling?
The Raven's like, are we going to the right place? And he's like, hey, we're not going to the palace. And then that guy with the arrows in his back is like, ugh.
Well, I thought it was interesting there because he actually mentions the creator in that section.
Yeah. As
And
the only person stronger than Lucifer.
Correct.
And Lucifer is like extremely more powerful than the Sandman himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which it's kind of an interesting like pantheon, but it's like rooted in biblical, but not rooted in biblical. They call him the creator, which that's God.
Yeah. Right.
So
do you remember the Noah's Ark movie with Russell Crowe?
Yes.
God was always referred to as the creator. That was
Yeah.
it. Like not God. It was always the creator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you're getting in. You haven't got to the. Yeah. After I think it's the because I think we're on 6 or 7.
Okay. I'm not far behind.
I was explaining. I was explaining to one of the people at work how it's almost like this. There's 11 episodes, and it's almost like it's broken up into seasons inside. Because you'll hit an episode. It's almost like there's like storylines, like because it's almost like it seems like a season finale will hit.
Right.
And then, but you're like a third of the way through the series.
Because he's got it's 3 missions in one series, from what I'm gathering. I'm not as far as you are, but it seems like the first one was a setup. It took like 2 hours for that first episode.
Yeah.
And then the next, it seems like it's broken up into this segment of episodes is getting his sand. This segment is getting his helm. This segment is getting his ruby.
I will ruin a slight bit.
In the helm segment.
I will ruin a bit to say the first segment is him getting all his tools.
Oh dang. Well, he better start making quick work because it's taken 4 or 5 episodes and he's just got his sand. So he better start picking it up.
I'll say he gets his last 2 pretty quick.
Okay.
Except for you're about to hit the episode that's like, this could have been told in 5 minutes. why did this take a whole hour episode? Oh, wait, there's an episode that's rough to watch because it's like you can tell that this is a British series just because of how it's written and how it's produced and just like the humor of it. And British shows are just done differently. And so, did you ever watch Doctor Strange? Not Doctor Strange, Doctor Who. You never watched Doctor Who? Did you watch the Sherlock series that Benedict Cumberbatch played Sherlock Holmes?
No, I've wanted to.
That's a good one. You need to watch that one. With him and the guy that plays Bilbo Baggins. Is
Bilbo. What was that kid's name?
Not Frodo. Bilbo in The Hobbit.
Oh, Bilbo. Then
Martin Freeman.
Okay, yeah. I was thinking of the other kid, the Forrest, not Forrest Whitaker. What is his name?
I don't remember.
I was thinking of the Frodo kid, but
yeah. But Martin Freeman is Watson, and Benedict Cumberbatch is Sherlock.
Okay, cool.
And they're like, but that one's a British series that it's like one season is 3 episodes, and each episode's like 2 hours long. And there's like, they're called series, not seasons. And there's like 3 series.
Okay, cool. And are they based on the books? On the stories?
Yeah, they're more.
So like you would like have the Baskerville Hounds and.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's set in modern time. It's not set back.
Okay. Interesting.
And like what, Victorian or whatever.
Yeah. See, and I don't know. I don't know if I'd like part of my like I love Sherlock, and I guess I like the new Sherlock with that guy from Hackers and then Lucy Liu. I enjoyed that one.
Oh,
so
Elementary.
Elementary. I guess I could dig.
Yeah,
I guess I could dig the modern.
That one's interesting because that one's set in New York. He's actually kind of binge. He's kind of late in his career kind of thing, and he's recovering from drugs kind of thing. I love that one.
Yeah,
that one's great.
From drugs has kind of like been almost excommunicated from Scotland Yard. Still has some connections, but he's like recovering addict in New York.
That could be one of my favorite series of Sherlock Holmes.
It's really Elementary.
I do love that one, but Sherlock is it's up there with my favorites. Just Benedict Cumberbatch is an awesome Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see him being great. Yeah.
So, movie
review.
Retro movie review.
This movie was absolutely rooted in the 70s. Holy crap.
Right.
I was explaining to my wife what
did you pick up how like political it was?
Massively.
And how at the same time it was like the cast was majorly diverse. Like you did not see a cast that diverse back then. I can't think of a movie.
But also and it was made in 75.
That had to be intentional. Like the people were like, we have to include lots of different cultures in this movie.
But at the same time, there wasn't much star power in this movie.
No, there wasn't.
It was him.
No, I think it was just Khan.
Yeah. Which did you know he passed away back in earlier in the year? I saw a tweet about it today.
I think we might have mentioned that. I didn't realize that, but now that you say that, I want to say that we have mentioned that on this show before. That he passed away.
I literally saw a tweet that July 6th, 2022. Like I saw something on Twitter that was like his lifelong friend or something got permission from the family to keep his Twitter account going and to share photos of his life. I was actually looking at James Caan's Twitter page. it was hilarious. he would post a picture of himself, and in the tweet it would say, like, he shared one that was him and his sister, and it said, "Me and my sister," end tweet. And then he had sent a picture that just said end tweet. Every post had end tweet at the end.
That is good.
Like,
that
I
is
don't
good.
know if you truly know how to use Twitter, sir.
Right? Yeah, or if he was just trolling everybody. That's great.
Yeah. He seemed like a very funny guy. But this movie, like, you know how there's some movies you're watching, like, when was this movie made? This one, 70s. Like,
yeah. 100%.
Did they ever... The movie never does say anything about what time period it was set in.
That's true. We know that it was definitely in the future because governments ceased to exist, and then corporations took over the world, and then ended up going to war with each other. And we are past that to where it's almost like a one world government, but the whole world is owned by a corporation.
Yeah, it's all corporate owned. There's no government anymore.
Yeah, there is no government. The government's like, we already destroyed all the governments. Corporations took over the world, and the corporations destroyed each other. And then it's just like one corporation, and everything is done in the interest of the corporation.
Okay. All right. I went to the Rollerball Wikipedia page. In the distant future of, in 2018.
Oh my gosh, the future is bleak.
Imagine in 1975, they're like, in the unforeseeable future of 2018, this is what the world is going to look like.
Right.
Time machine and go back and be like, no, 2018 doesn't look anything like this.
Yeah, that's funny.
And like, it was weird because it was all run by the corporation, and like, his wife, he lost his wife because a board member liked her more, and she got reassigned to live with that guy.
Yeah.
And I guess they just assign him girlfriends.
Yep.
Like, women to just come, and that was like their assignment, was to live with him.
Yeah.
And it's
then
like
the one that he was currently with was getting, like, he knew that she was getting reassigned, and so he wasn't trying to get attached, but she was starting to get attached.
Like,
and he's like, and he's like, like, you tell, like, it was awkward because he was like thinking that she was already going to be gone, but she was still there, and he's like, this is awkward. You're getting reassigned, and I'm kind of digging one of my previous wives from a few assignments ago. So,
and I knew it had to have been, way off in the future, because there are no books. It's all, computerized now.
Yeah, everything's on what they perceived. Like, they were kind of calling the internet. They were visualizing what an internet would look like. And everything was digitized. And of course, it was in one system. So if that system, like, they deleted the whole, what was it, 13th century?
13th century,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. We lost the 13th century. There was a glitch in the system. Oh, well, we'll never have it again because there's no books.
So would you say that Rollerball, the sport of Rollerball in this movie, where that it was centered around that they really didn't show much of the game? There's only like 3 matches in the entire movie. There was a lot of in between and filler stuff.
Yeah, it was 3 or 4.
Did it feel more like WWE, like fake wrestling stuff? Because his name was Jonathan E, but they kept and then the other guy was Moon Pie.
Right.
Like all of the.
It wasn't as staged. It seemed like
it wasn't staged. But I'm just saying that there were characters.
There were definitely characters. The corporation had its agenda and would constantly change the rules to try to make their agenda become fulfilled. Like, the thing that they thought was going to make them the most money. Like, they were trying to push Jonathan out. Like, he's had so much success, let's push him out. So they kept trying to change the rules, push him out, force him out, do everything they can. It wasn't, but yeah, it is very WWE-esque for sure.
From what I could tell, he got too good at the game, and Houston was winning everything.
Yep.
So the league and the world wasn't a competitive, like they were just stomping everybody. So they wanted him out, kind of thing. Like it's like a Tom Brady thing. It's like if the league came up and like, all right, Tom, you're done, retire, and he's like, no, I'm not gonna. I'm like, well, I guess we're gonna have to kill you off.
Who knows? That might be what's happening. We don't know.
But I think I asked you when we first kind of started talking about this movie last week. Did you ever in the 90s watch roller derby?
I did. Yep.
Like
I like roller derby, and I
loved
know
roller. I've actually watched live matches.
Yeah, there's roller derby.
They still
as
do
far
it.
as I know, it's still going on, and local teams. And I haven't looked for Tulsa. I was following when I lived in Lawton a few years ago. I was following a local Lawton team.
Mm-hmm.
Never got to go watch them, but yeah, I love roller derby.
Okay, story time. We were at a Halloween deal out in downtown Tulsa years ago. This would have been 10, 12 years ago. And right there at the Max, there on Elgin. The Max was the Max, and then that pizza place that was beside it was like kind of the main joints. They had the whole
Candelinis.
I think so, maybe. They had that street closed off and they had bands playing. Well, they chalked off in the street circles and had these two roller derby teams come out and played a match of roller derby in the street. We watched a girl literally break her finger. The match ended when one of the girls got curbed. She got hip checked, went into a curb and broke her pinky. It snapped in half. And they're like, we're done. And they all just both left. And it was like 10 minutes into what they were supposed to be going on for like 30, 45 minutes. It was like 10 minutes in and she broke her finger. And they're like, yeah, we're done. This is sketchy. We can't do this.
Roller derby, I remember back when I was a kid, roller derby was very WWE-esque. Like, it might have been fake. I don't know.
No,
because the character, not fake. I mean, you know how wrestling, it's real, you're athletic, but it's it's scripted, this team's going to win kind of thing. Because it was so
over the top.
When I was a kid, I loved it. I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, we used to watch.
Back, I'm like, okay, that was probably scripted, but it was so fun. It was so fun.
Well, but we watched a ton of it because my parents came from the era of roller skating. Because my parents, were teenagers in the 70s. So, roller skating was huge for my parents' generation. So, a sport that they're using, it's roller skating with violence. Let's set the whole family in front of the TV and watch this every week.
Right.
And I think back then there was a Tulsa team that we used to root for.
Yeah, maybe.
And it was always the women's league that they always used to show on TV. You'd see the men play ever so often, but everybody was there to watch the women because they got people hurt.
Yeah.
They were the men's league was like tamer.
Yeah, I don't know what yet. I agree. I agree
always remember watching the women.
I remember the women more than the men. And then even recently, all the leagues that I follow, that I try to follow, it's all women's leagues. I don't think
really
they do
men's roller derby anymore.
I don't see men's roller derby. Yeah, it's all women's roller derby. And but yeah, I remember. Yep, I agree. It was the same way. I remember the women way more than the men. The men were just like a blip, and then you're just like, okay, whatever. But then the women are on there. Yeah.
It always seems to be a women's, it's always a sport that the women played. And it was always just the big women that would just, and then you'd have these smaller ladies that would be actually racing, and the other one's just trying to maul everyone.
Yeah. They would do that whip move where they would swing, then like, oh, here they're doing the whip.
If I'm not mistaken, the whole objective of that was to try to get your speedster to CrossFit to do like what 3 laps first.
Yeah, it was how many people could you get across the line before they had people across the line.
I thought it was
And
just the speedster.
It typically came down to the speedster. Like they were the ones that
Okay.
were. It was, they were the ones that were going to finish, and it was their speedster against your speedster. It was almost. It's like curling.
Yeah.
Like how many stones you get the middle, but usually it's. I always have one almost as close as yours, so it's usually a 1-to-1.
Okay.
If I remember right, that's how it was.
Nobody watched that. Nobody watched roller derby for the rules. They just watched.
Right?
They just
Yeah,
turned it
you're
on
right.
to see people get hurt.
You're right.
But
we want to see checks and
yeah, it was hockey
to the
without
ground,
it was hockey without a puck.
yeah. And then roller derby, or not rollerball, took that to the next level.
Yeah.
Where basically the speedster had to actually perform an action to score the point. They just couldn't be faster.
Yeah.
And it seemed what I liked. I mean, it was crazy. The movie was it seemed like a real sport. Like I could see that being
like they
real.
were playing it while they were filming it. Like that was actually
not only were they playing it, but the rules made sense.
Yep.
It seemed like something we could do today. Like we could have that sport today, easy, like no problem. It's not like one of those future games where like people are levitating, and then it's not like Quidditch where they're on brooms and throwing. This is real. This is like something I could see. This is real. It was,
but if it was truly a futuristic sport, they would be on EV bikes, not gasoline bikes. Now, can I make the comment that was the Houston team on an Indian motorcycle and the Japanese team on a Yamaha?
Oh my gosh! Stop it! Gosh. Well, folks, this was fun. I've enjoyed the run that we've had. This was 90 episodes.
Sorry, I had to make that joke.
And we're done. And you're probably right, though. I mean,
they're probably all on Hondas and Yamahas, to be honest with you.
Right. I mean, we don't have common sense media, so we can't really get into too much of that. But
we can get into that much a little bit later because I do have some comments about that. But Metacritic, we'll get some Metacritic going here.
Yeah, Metacritic. All right.
We were talking about everything else. We're all over the place tonight.
So,
11 critics out of 100.
Out of 100, I think the critics probably gave it a 51.
You were close, a 56.
A 56, okay.
I expected a lower score. I expected the critics to absolutely hate this movie.
Right. I think with how politicized it was and the diversity, I think that gave it some point boosts. The diverse cast. So
7 users out of 10.
7? Oh my gosh, this is going to be so hard. 7 users.
Yeah, it's hard to get an average of 7.
Let's say 6.3.
7.3.
Okay. All right.
So you had, which, yeah. I love how the summary.
You're like, so you have.
Well.
Yeah.
I saw something. I saw something that caught my eye, and my brain skipped a beat there. It says summary: in a corporate-controlled future, an ultra-violent sport known as rollerball represents the world, and one of its powerful athletes is out to defy those who want him out of the game. I just saw ultra-violent and was like, was this movie really ultra-violent?
For that time, I could see where they were about as violent as they could be without being a slasher.
I think I want to go back this next week and see if I can find the remake and rewatch it.
God. I did see the remake when I was searching for this movie.
Was it also on the Amazon?
It might have been. I don't know.
For it. Cause I don't think we're gonna. I don't want to review a remake right off the bat.
Right. I know that this one was on like 4 different streaming services. This was like on Amazon and Peacock and.
Yeah.
But I did see the remake pop up when I was looking for it.
Because I know the remake goes in a different direction with the end of the movie.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. So
the remake looked super cheesy. Like, this one looked like it was probably way better than the remake.
I want to
Just
say
from
yeah,
the box art. Just from the box art. I've never even seen the remake, but the box art was like, ooh, that looks bad.
I remember the remake getting very bad reviews. Like it wasn't well received.
Yeah, and it's got like B-list actors. Like,
Yeah.
the box art had people. I'm like, I've seen them in movies as supporting characters before, but they didn't have any like stars. It was just a bunch of like people that you've seen before. I've seen them in a movie, but they'd never been the star of a movie, and now they're starring in this movie, and it looks cheesy.
Oh, it had Chris
No
Klein,
clue.
Jean Reno, Rebecca Romaine,
Okay.
LL Cool J.
Oh, all right. There's somebody.
And I almost want to say Cool J was the what I say that one guy's name was? Moon Pie. He was the Moon Pie character. I don't think his name was Moon Pie, but he played that like best friend role, like that sidekick that Moon Pie like.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny.
I'm trying to remember what else was Chris Klein in. Oh, he was American Pie. That's right.
I might remember that. I might.
I think he was one of the bros from American Pie. But so critics gave it the 75 version 6 positive, 4 mixed, 1 negative. Users gave it 5 positive, 2 mixed. IGN, which during the video games, gave it a 90. One of the most forward-looking science fiction tales of the 70s.
Okay.
Variety gave it an 80. Norman Jewson, I guess
Jewson?
Joyson. Sensational futuristic drama about a world of corporate state stars James Caan in an excellent performance as a famed athlete who fights for his identity and free will. Was this a very quiet movie to you?
It was pretty quiet, yeah.
Like like James Caan never really talked very loud in this movie.
Yeah. No. The fans were about as loud as they can go. And I've already told you about Tokyo.
Yeah.
Victory. Tokyo.
What did you notice? Was it ominous when the New York team come out of the locker room chanting, "Kill Jonathan, kill Jonathan"? Like, gee, I wonder what their goal is.
Right.
So, see here, let's come down here. Reader with a backwards R gave it a 37. Lifeless, uninspired, and crammed with enough hints of intellectual consistency to give the social conscious critical establishment shivers of excitement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a bunch of word vomit in that one.
Right. Yeah.
So Core Gamer 1408 gave it an 8. This is a user score.
All right.
I was up for a 2022 rewatch, and this is still a cracking film. Don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. Iconic music score for sure. Nearly all of the performances are very subtle. All like the emotions in this world is almost stinted beyond the outlet of the game. Visually dated and so a very retro cinematic vibe. I don't know. Okay, you're spewing words. Okay. So, what out of 5 stars, what would you give this movie?
I would probably give it a 3.5.
I'd give it a 4.
It was pretty good. I just don't know that it was like. It was good. It It was a good movie. I was very impressed with the direction that went in for how old it was. The politicization,
Politicization?
that word, I thought that was fun. I really did. I thought it was like, okay, I see where you're going with this. You're kind of, and it was one of those ones where it was also bipart, like like in today's climate, like both sides of the political spectrum could like take positive things from this, So, like, I was really impressed with that. I don't know. It was fun.
I thought if you look at it with the vision of, what would have people thought in 75,
Right.
great movie.
I'm not old enough to know.
but then watching it now, it was still a good, well written. The cinematic were really good. The acting, even though it was, and these actors may have been in a lot of movies in the 70s.
Right.
I wasn't there. Great movie. Do we want to go into some? I don't have them in front of me, but some Common Sense Media.
Some Common Sense Media-ish.
Yeah. Positive role models and representations.
Positive role models and representation.
We'll cram those all into one.
Right.
We don't
this
need
one.
We don't need to waste time with having it in two categories.
Yeah, I would probably give it a 1. Jonathan would be the only possible positive role model, I think. And just because he was, defiant and was, I'm going to do what I feel is right, even though my bosses are telling me to do what I feel is wrong. So I would give it a 1, but he was still pretty selfish, like he was the star. Yeah. I didn't really see any kind of positive role model, but I would give it a 1.
I would agree. I can agree with that. What's the next one gonna be?
Positive messages.
What?
We just want to piggyback and say 1 on positive message also.
Well, I lumped them both. I said positive role models, representation, and
represent.
I crammed them all into one. Because why are we separating those categories? Why are we saying looking for a positive role model and then positive, like?
Yeah.
Violence.
I agree. Violence. Man,
there was no scariness, so we'll just say violence.
Yeah, we'll say violence. It really wasn't terrible. I think for the time, it would have been a 4. I can go with 3 because the blood was pretty fake. It was pretty fake. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of it, but, it was pretty physical. The sport was very physical.
Yeah.
Did you catch anything, like, over the top?
Well, the one that kind of had me is when Moon Pie was killed. Like, when he was brained. The guy literally had a knife hand.
Yeah.
And hit him in the back of the head. Twice. No blood on the glove.
Right.
I feel like
you never saw. You would see what they were doing. Like, they had those spike hands. You would see them swinging, but you never saw contact. But you would see off screen, like, this. And then, like,
the face
they would show them, their face would be bloody, and they'd be, like, getting pulled off with a stretcher.
Yeah.
And so, I can see, I think for the 70s, this probably would have been a 4. I'm going to give it a 3 for 2022.
I could agree with that. What was up with the scene with the gun? Blowing up those trees.
That was very weird. I just think they were like, I don't know what. That's a great question. Were they trying to say in the future we had lasers? Because it didn't have anything to do with the movie at all.
No.
Nothing.
No.
0.
He was in talking with the executive guy.
Yeah.
And
none of those people outside ever reappeared in the show. Like, They
No.
weren't characters that you were involved, like you were
They were in that
invested
party.
at
They were
all.
at that party.
Yeah, they were just outside. He's like talking, hey. Okay, side scroll outside to these people at some kind of like bridal party or something, and like,
I think they were
we're
just
having fun shooting trees.
Well, I think they were just outside the house that they were talking in because you could hear the explosion in the background.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
I was
they
waiting
were.
for them to miss and hit the house and blow the house up and hurt both. Like that'd be like
Right. Or something to happen, and then one of them run in and talk to them. But there was none of that.
no
It was
interaction
literally
whatsoever.
just a totally separate
And
45-second to a minute and a half, whatever that was. Just random, had nothing to do with the movie whatsoever. It was just filler.
just on a side note from that, what was up with this movie really enjoying zooming in and then being close in and like there was like the big TV dish that they were zoomed in at one time and they zoomed out to the city, but then every so often two characters would be talking and they'd zoom into this guy's face, zoom out, zoom into this guy's face, zoom out. It's like back
Who
off
knows?
on the zoom. What's going on here? It must have been
Very weird.
70s something.
Very weird.
But yeah.
What about language? Did you catch any language?
No.
I'm not remembering any language. I
No.
don't think there was. What rated was this movie?
It was R.
It was rated R.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember any language. There were, like I said, it was pretty violent for the time, but you
There
never
were
actually
some-
saw anything.
Moon Pie made some racial.
That's true. There was quite a few against the Asians.
And he
There
made
was
some comments about
It was
ladies and the Tokyo
Yeah.
team.
Yeah, you're right. There was a lot of stereotyping against
Yep.
Asians, and there was some talk about ladies, like oh, we're just getting famous so we can hook up with ladies.
Yeah.
There was never anything like super. I don't recall anything super vulgar. There was that weird shower scene where you saw lots of dudes' butts.
I've been watching The Boys lately.
Yeah, so
that's all. I feel like that's all I've seen in TV lately is man
just talking
butt.
about the man butt. Yeah, big hairy dude butts.
Yeah.
We might have saw like the man version of a side boob. We might have saw a side slong.
Oh.
But yeah,
I'm
I
uncomfortable.
don't think there was any
No.
any of that. I would have given it a 1 just for the dude butts. For that
Oh,
one
on-
shower scene.
On sexual things,
Yeah, on sexy stuff.
sexy
Like
stuff.
some of them call it sexy stuff.
Yeah, give it a 1 just for that because it really wasn't like when his wife came back, like it showed them in bed afterwards and they
And
kissed once.
wasn't there a scene? Wasn't there a scene where a guy was in bed with a woman, like at a party or something? Like,
That was Moon Pie, but it didn't show. It showed him go off with a random lady, which that was a
Okay.
weird scene because then he comes back without her, and I guess his lady that he came to the party with like reached over and like fixed his tie, his bow, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and then she just smiled, and then they went back off into the party.
yeah, weird.
But drugs, drinking, and smoking, which
There
is
was that weird drug.
What were
had
he
a
called
drug.
it an aphrodisiac at one point.
that pill that everybody was
But
taking.
they were all taking this pill. And
Yeah.
that was that party that was shooting the gun. They'd
Yeah.
all been at that party and they had been taking you kept seeing them all taking these little pills.
And that head honcho, that CEO, had those same pills in
He
the
handed
locker
one to
room
Moon
after
Pie.
the first win. Yeah, after
Moon
the
Pie's-
first win.
He's like, "What is this?" And he's like, "You'll want to sleep afterwards."
Yeah.
And that's
So I don't know what that was. I would give it a 2
just for
if
that
I knew what
mystic-
that. Yeah, if I knew what it was, maybe I'd give it a 3. But I
You-
don't
there-
know.
there were
Maybe it was a breath mint with that. I don't know, with caffeine. I don't
Well,
know.
like I said, Khan's character did call it an aphrodisiac at one point when he was talking to that one girl.
Yeah, but oysters are aphrodisiacs also. So
That's fair.
who knows?
There
Who
was
knows?
you could give it a 2. I'd give it a 2. There was some wine.
Was there wine? Okay.
Khan's character was drinking some wine at that party as well.
Okay, so I can see a 2 or a 3. Okay. What else?
Consumerism. Not even present.
I would say not present,
Not.
but I could guarantee you there is somebody that would go, "This is a 5" because it's based in a dystopian future where corporatism has taken over America,
Yeah, but
has
they're not.
taken over the globe, and they're selling Rollerball. I would say not present. I never saw anything. As far as I know, it's not based on a book. I would say not present.
I think it was actually based off a book.
Oh, was it? Of course it was. Of course it was.
It was based off a. It was William Harrison screenplay was written by William Harrison, adapted his own short story Rollerball Murder,
Okay.
which had its first appearance in Esquire in '73.
Okay.
So, it was based off a short story that appeared in a magazine. But there, because it almost seemed like this dystopian world, like there wasn't money.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
Like
Yeah.
there really wasn't.
It was though, because didn't they say like he was getting paid like an excessive amount? Like,
They were compensating him for his stuff.
yeah. So we don't know what that compensation was. If
Yeah.
it like,
And they said they'd really.
we're giving you this house, and we're assigning you the best women
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and the best helicopters.
Because they kept
like,
saying, they kept talking about their, like their corporate card, like their corporate privileges.
Yeah.
Like, depending on how, like, your contract you sign on what your privilege is. And kind of, it's almost like in this dystopian world, there really isn't there isn't really currency.
Right. Yeah. It's just, you
Every-
get more stuff if you're the corporation.
Yeah,
thinks
the
so.
higher status you are.
Because if you caught
The more
on, like,
luxury.
he seemed like he would always take the private helicopter to all of the events, and the team would just ride on like a bus or something to the,
Mhm.
and then like, because there was that time he's like, "No, you guys go on. I'm going to ride with the team to the tournament to New York," and he didn't go on the. I don't know if he thought like the helicopter was booby trapped and it was going to explode in midair, but he's like, "Yeah, I'm not taking the chopper. I'm just going to ride down with the team." And so, like, it was to the point where he was at such a level that was a perk that he got. If you were like the star of the team, you didn't even have to ride with the team. You could just over.
He probably expected that chopper to not be able to land. Like,
Right. Yeah. He was going to become the first Kobe Bryant.
Oh.
Too soon? My bad.
That happened close to 2018.
It did. Oh. Dun dun dun. Was Jonathan really Kobe? Jonathan E. Kobe?
Stretch.
Could they be? Maybe.
Probably not.
I don't know. Conspiracy theory. Prove me wrong.
Sure. Very classic movie.
Yeah.
Watch it. Watch it.
It was super. It was entertaining.
Might not be good for younger kids.
Maybe.
I think mid-teens would be a good.
Yeah, probably. It wasn't terrible. Like, you can watch it with a kid in the room and not be afraid of anything.
And that
I don't think a kid would be entertained by it though.
that was gonna be what I was gonna say. None of my kids would watch this start to finish.
Yeah.
It's not a movie that would entertain a child.
Right.
I don't even think my 12-year-old, 11 or 12-year-old would be entertained with this movie because there's too many slow spots.
Right.
As soon as they start talking, not punching each other in the face. So, hey, do you know about roundabouts what we might watch next week?
I don't know, what episode are we in? How close are we to our live episode?
This is 7.
This is episode. Okay, so we're still a ways away. I have no idea. Haven't even thought about it, honestly. Not even a thought at all. I haven't even looked at Netflix and go, oh, that would be fun. Nothing.
Well, let me take a gander at the. You know what? Let's.
But now I'm
That's.
saying that.
I've been looking.
When did...
What's up?
Oh, that was early. Never mind. That's too new. I don't like it. I'm not even going to say it. Not doing it. Don't even ask me.
What was that?
What were you going to say?
I've been looking more on Amazon lately.
Yeah.
What? That one's up. Ooh. When was the last time you watched The Silence of the Lambs?
Oh, that's a good one. It's been a long time. A long time.
Been a while.
Fun fact, there was a scene in that movie that created a response that was just like outlandish. Like I had something in my hands and I saw something, and for some reason, now that I think about it, like, why did I get so upset? Like I threw whatever I had in my hand at my wall. Like, I'm down. Let's do it.
Such
I'm
a great
down.
movie.
What? That's on Amazon?
Yeah, it's on Amazon.
Yeah.
Necessary Roughness popped up on my screen as well, which I guess I started watching that one a while back and didn't finish it because it's showing that I'm partway through that movie. If you remember that movie.
I don't.
You remember the football movie Necessary Roughness?
No, who's in that?
I don't remember. Rob Schneider.
Is he really?
He's the announcer.
How funny.
Jason Bateman, Scott Bakula, which I think he's the quarterback.
Jason Bateman was in this movie?
Yeah, I think he's super young.
He's got like a freaking be a baby. How interesting. I don't think I've ever seen this movie.
Hey, do we want to do a football movie this week to commemorate the start of football?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Who are you picking at number 11?
I don't know yet. Whoever's available.
It's not going to be Christian McCaffrey because I'm picking him up. Despite all the red flags, I'm doing it.
Hey, do it.
I'm doing it.
Do it. I know if he slipped to 11, I'd be hard-pressed to not get him.
Right,
like,
yeah.
I'd be like, wait, what? I don't know who's going to be available at 11.
I don't know. You might be able to pick up one of those top tier tight ends, one of the top 3.
I was really hoping to get a better running back though. But hey, let's movie. We're gonna do Necessary Roughness this week.
Necessary Roughness, okay. Necessary Roughness. That's on the Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's a it's a slapstick, funny comedy football movie from the early 90s.
Early 90s slapstick comedy football.
That's kind of how I put it. It's just more. It doesn't take itself very seriously, but yet for Sinbad's in this movie. I forgot he's in it too. You remember Sinbad?
Oh, I remember Sinbad. Oh, I remember Sinbad. All right.
Sinbad's hilarious. If I can spell it right. I'm trying to figure out who else was in this one. Evander Holyfield, Sinbad, Kathy Ireland.
Evander Holyfield has to be a cameo as himself. It has to be. There's no way he was acting.
No,
I see that it's on Common Sense Media. I have no Common Sense Media reviews, but this is on Common Sense Media, so if you have a review left, you've got it next week.
Okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, are we wrapped up?
I think we are. I'm
I think the wife is wanting to throw on some Jurassic Park. She's home, and
could be up late tonight, huh?
I could be up another 2 or 3 hours.
Is it the new
Dreaming,
Jurassic Park?
dreaming about, yeah.
That's a 3-hour movie.
3 hours?
That's close to a 3-hour movie. We watched it at the Admiral Twin drive-in.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, it's it's right at 3 or under, but I think it might be over 3 hours.
Holy cow! But this
check.
is supposed to be like the end all be all of.
They're making more.
You're probably right. You're probably right.
I think they said it's hard to domination. How long does it say this movie is? Come on. It doesn't say on the screen.
It's Dominion, right?
Yeah. Metacritic will tell me what it is. Metacritic gives how long a movie is. Normally it does. I guess when you go to a new movie, it changes its format. 2 hours and 26 minutes.
Still, that's a long movie. Was it good?
Fantastic.
Okay, good. All right.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
All right. Well, that's what I'm going to do. Let's cut this off so I can go watch this movie.
Hey, how about we make it to where you can hear this time?
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure everybody is following at the Pantless Pod 1. I want to see your food. Hashtag what I'm eating and tweet us.
Email us so we can try your food.
Yeah, email us the recipe and then leave us a voicemail of you eating it. I just want like some ASMR voicemails going.
That
so good.
Go for it.
Yeah, there's a link. Leave us a voicemail. Nobody's left us one yet. This is season 9, people. Somebody leave us a voicemail.
All right. Have a good one, Austin.
You too, brother.